What's up, guys? Tucker Singer with S&S Smithing. We're on part 2 of the flesh knife build. Alright guys, so for part 2 here, we're going to take the slight twist that is in the blade out. We're going to bevel it, and hopefully whenever we bevel it, puts in the correct curve I'm looking for it. And then we're going to get it sharpened and finished up, ready to be used. Hopefully all that in this video. So, let's get started. Alright guys, so first thing we gotta do here is there's a very slight twist in right in here in the blade. So we're just gonna heat up this section here, try to take it over to the vise and try to straighten that up before we get onto the beveling. There we go, we're gonna drop her in the vise here, work on straightening her up a bit. Get that last little bit of a wave right here out of it. I think we can get on to the start beveling it. We're going to head and start beveling it. We're going to do a pinch, so start pinching in this end here. As I'm beveling this, I'm trying to keep sure that it's straight here and isn't bending, so that way while I'm forging in the bevel, I don't end up making one side thicker than the other. So I just keep flipping it over and make sure we're about the same spot on the bevel, same height, and then checking the edge thickness. Now you can see we're starting to get that curve we're looking for here versus this side. So we're going to go along the whole thing, put on our initial bevel here, and if we don't have the curve we're looking for, we're going to bring the bevel up a little bit higher on the blade. Alright, we're beveled to do about halfway on the blade. So, what I'm going to do now, just to make it a little bit more manageable, I'm going to flip it around and hold on to this end while I'm beveling this side. Alright. Alright guys, this week's video shout out goes to Skill Cult. He does a lot of primitive flipping, off-the-grid kind of stuff videos. He does a lot of things like falling trees, axe maintenance, primitive basic tools. He does a lot of videos talking about fleshing knives and how to process hides. So go check him out, show him some love. Alright guys, as always, I'll put a link in the description, in a card, and at the end of the video. Alright, let's get back at it. Our main bevel on both sides is completed, so there's that. Just gonna flatten shit a little bit, take out some of the hammer marks, clean up our edge a bit, make sure she's straight. There's a little bit of a bend in it right here and here, so I'm gonna do that probably off camera, and let her cool down. We'll come back and talk about the next step. Alrighty guys, she's kind of cooled off a little bit. It's all done. See, we got that curve we were looking for in it. Feels nice and comfortable in my hand. Still a little warm. So that part's all done. We got the bevel in. It's relatively even all the way across the edge here. There's a couple little lumps and bumps. But once she cools off the rest of the way, we're going to go ahead, take it, do some profile grinding and stuff on it. And once that's all done, we're going to try to harden it a little bit. Just to add a little bit more longevity to it. Like I said, a lot of these you can buy it from a sports or outdoor store or magazines. A lot of them are just made out of mild steel. So it's not super necessary, and this isn't so much a cutting implement, it's mostly scraping, and then probably on this back edge here, probably about that much. I'm going to sharpen, so that way we'll have a shaving side to get off furs if we need to for other hides. But this deer hide, I'm going to try to keep the fur on it and do an egg tan on it. So we're going to let this cool off the rest of the way so I can handle it without gloves. And then we're going to get on to profile grinding. Alright guys, she's nice and cool. I dunked it in water just to make sure, because it was still a little warm on my fingers and I didn't want it to warm up too much while I was grinding it. So we're going to go ahead, profile this, take off any sharp edges here on the handle bits. But yeah, once we do that, we just heat treat it. I'll probably only do really like an edge quench on it. That's really it. Alright guys, let's get started. Alright, well, now we got our bevel cleaned up here a little bit. There's still some scale marks, but this is just pre-heat treat grinding. So that part is pretty much done. I'm going to just put a little bit of edge on this, just burp, burp. And then we'll go ahead, head over to heat treating. Alright guys, so just for a heads up of what we're going to be doing here. All of the profile grinding is basically done at this point, so that's all good to go. Now I have an old cooler that's all beat up, barely even holds water in it. It's going to be what we're going to use for our quench tank for this. We're going to do a water quench because mower blades typically don't really harden, and that's our best chance to getting it to be anything. So we're going to do that. We're pretty much just really going to do like an edge quench. So that's going to be what we do. And yes, I know there's going to be people out there, oh, but it's plastic, it might melt. Water's going to cool it down fast enough before it's going to melt, and the water's going to go everywhere. And even if it does melt, like I said, it was pretty much a glorified trash can at this point. So we're repurposing it for today. So that's what we're going to do. And for the heat treat on this, I'm going to run it back and forth through the heat of the burner, just the jet, and heat up the edge here, and maybe try to heat up this middle a little bit. Like I said, because I'm going to try to get a sharp edge on this side too, maybe. I haven't decided fully yet, but that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get the forge lit up, start this going. Next time you guys see me, we'll be quenching this. Alrighty, let's get back at it. Got some good scale pop, so seems like she's hardened as much as she's really going to do. We did pick up a little bit of a warp, but I think it's something I can get out whenever I go to temper it. So I'm going to do a temper with the torch, but besides that, I think that'll work pretty good. We did get a little bit of a curve this way in it, not much. Nothing that shouldn't be able to come out whenever I temper it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to use the torch to temper it. Since I want an edge on both sides, possibly, I'm going to focus a lot of the heat here in the middle and let it disperse out towards the edges. Alrighty guys, so I got the blade up here in the vise, not clamped too tight. I'm going to have some welding gloves on. I'm going to hold it by the handles here. I'm going to heat up the center here, and I took the blade to the belt a little bit just to take off some of the scale, make it a little bit shiny, so that way it's easier for me to see if the colors are running the right way or not. And I'm going to temper it with a torch. Alrighty. Here we go. I don't usually do this, I usually throw it in the oven, but because we got that little bit of a warp, as I'm heating it up, I'm just going to tweak it in the vise a little bit, just try to take that out. Alright, let's get started. Alrighty guys, so I got the warp and everything out. Fortunately, for some reason, the camera did not record the whole process, which is pretty dumb. It got the start and it kind of cut out, so kind of sucky, but yep, there's a little bit of wander here in the edge, just a little bit, but that's stuff I can fix in final grind and put it in the edge. So let's get started on that. Alrighty boys and girls, so she's all done. I put an edge on it. Now for fleshing knives, you don't need a super sharp edge, but something that at least just grabs a little bit, you know. It turned out pretty decent. Like I said, there's one spot right here where I kind of accidentally bumped it with the grinder, whenever I was moving, so there's a little divot in it, but that's away from like the main edge. So there's the edge there. So hope you guys like this build. I should be putting up a video here in the near future of testing this out on a deer hide I have. So stick around. We'll get to that eventually. So here we go. She's all done. Remember guys, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this video.